When I tell you the episode opens up, immediate hunching activities, not quite hunching, but hunching activities, y'all. When Jamie Daddy said, what do you want me to do for you? How can I please you? May I? Like what is happening, guys? Come on in the room. Y'all know what it is. We're about to talk Outlander, blood of my blood. Let's do it. Only apply that. Get it, don't be timid when you ain't apply that. Love a bone, give along, need it. I don't want no trip, baby, spread like My name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related, and I am here to put you on, okay? Oh, we're back to talk Outlander, episode 3, School of the Moon. And baby, tell me how you want it. How can I please you? It was a dream. Ellen is having wet dreams and doing the absolute most in her nighttime activities, y'all. I said, are we over here already? We've advanced after this first meeting and we are already hunching in the woods or having hunching activities in the woods. Y'all, I didn't know. I didn't know what to do, y'all, but let's get into this episode. It's time to get ready for the laird ceremony, right? And so we have all of the festivities going on. Everybody who has a hat or a dog in the race to become laird. So of course, Dougal and Colum, but we also meet, I believe his name is McKinney. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but he also wants to be laird. Honestly, I think he's an opportunist who sees an opportunity to step in because the family is at odds, right? Colum wants to be laird, Dougal wants to be laird, and neither of them want to relinquish the power, the authority, or anything that comes along with that. We know Colum's at a disadvantage because of his disability, and we know Dougal is a live wire, and so finding someone who's going to back one of them, knowing that they're dissenting parties at this point, is going to be a chore. Meanwhile, Ellen finds out that she's been betrothed to Malcolm Grant. Now, what I will say, I asked for it last week and they delivered this week because we'd heard so much about Ellen's prowess and how smart she was and how she's all of the things Red Jacob wanted his sons to be, and we really hadn't seen it demonstrated. This episode was a great representation of who she is, how she navigates the space of not only being a woman of the time, right, but also a person, a leader, a thought leader, really, under no uncertain terms. And so now she's in a fluster. She needs to go and talk with Colum. And in this moment, we really discovered that Colum's really only alive and well and functioning as well as he is because of Ellen. And we get the backstory. They had midnight raids that they called the School of the Moon. And this was to determine if you were strong enough to lead, if you were smart enough, all of these things. And so they were going to do a raid on a neighboring village. And they set out to do something, and Dougal ends up wanting to collect more spoils, go somewhere else. In the process, Colum is hurt and they have to bring him back. And this is when we really see, in my opinion, who Red Jacob is or was. And he was a menace. He was a menace to those boys. They were just a complete disappointment. And he took every opportunity in turn to let them know how much of a disappointment they were. It was so heartbreaking with Colum. When he's injured, he can't even walk, right? And Dougal is carrying him in. What are you guys doing back here? What happened? Did you get what I told you to get? No, you're not even really hurt, sir. Sir, he's so injured he won't be able to walk again. And then there's this scene where he comes in and Colum blames Dougal and all of that. You're blaming your brother? You're nothing. You're never going to be anything. Basically, paraphrasing. Colum gets out, hopping. Baby, tell me why he falls down the stairs in a rugged mess at the bottom of the stairs, and Ellen has to come up. But anyway, back to present day, she's reminding him and he's like, I know, but honestly, the clan comes first. And if you have to marry somebody in order for us to keep this station and for me to be laird, then so be it. And it really makes me think about who Colum is as a person, because you could tell he felt it in the moment. Damn, Ellen, you were there for me. But it's like this desire to be in power and prove his father wrong is so overarching. It's more to me than what his relationship with Ellen was. And I think she feels that as well, but she resolves herself that this just is what it is. And I'll say for the time, I think that's what women had to do to cope in those spaces. So again, Colum tells her, listen, the promises died with him and your privilege as well, because no other woman in the family, no other woman in the realm has the ability to move and operate the way that you do. Girl, you're going to be married. So she feels betrayed because they were close. And again, he says he has to do what's best for the clan. And at this point, y'all, we find out that everybody in love with Ellen. Everybody in love with Ellen because, well, we're out doing our strength contest, right? Showing who we are, how strong we are, all of the candidates. We see Dougal confront this other guy. I think his name was Stuart. Was it Stuart? Y'all help me out in the comments. I believe Stuart might be the one running for king, or not running for king, but going to be king. And this is one of his little henchmen. Anyway, there's a guy who apparently loves Ellen. And so Dougal makes a similar arrangement and basically says, anyone who supports the king will support you, Dougal, as long as you're wanting to be laird, as long as you can betroth Ellen to me. Because again, everybody is in love with Ellen. Now we see Brian and his bestie Murtaugh, and they are out and heading on their way home, and Murtaugh is devastated. And Brian's like, what the hell is wrong with you? He's like, the love of my life, she's betrothed to another, and I'll never get my chance to shoot my shot. And Brian's like, who? Ellen? And he's like, yes, man, you have loved her my whole life. And I'm like, damn it. So now we're going to have a situation where Brian's installed his best friend's imaginary girlfriend in his head. That's where we're going with it, y'all. That's where we're going. And so that's how Brian finds out that she's betrothed to Malcolm Grant. And he takes it on the chin. You can tell he's flustered by it. But of course, they've only had one meeting. And what is that going to mean? Now, I know one thing. Ellen and Brian are going to be together. We all know that. But is he going to lose a friend in the process? Again, I have not watched OG like that, so I do not know, but don't spoil it for me because I really want to see this evolve and see where we're going with it. Julia is plotting, planning, and scheming her next escape attempt, honey. She has letters in the crawl with her pen and her paper because every night she's still writing to Henry and burning it in the fire because listen, we can't risk it. But I love you and I need to get this off of me. And we know that they have this long distance relationship for such a long time that is absolutely what they're used to. Mistress immediately, who we later find out is damn Brian's mama, because y'all know Brian's a bastard. The mistress of the house, the housekeeper, is his mother. And so she knows immediately that Julia's pregnant. Listen, you ain't, what did they say? I don't even know. Let me see. What was the word that she said? Bringing down the flowers. She's not bringing down the flowers. And basically, Mistress whips her up a concoction right there to abort the mission. A concoction says, listen, this will bring it down. This will bring the flowers down out of the attic. And I'm like, ma'am, what are we talking about? And Julia's like, we don't have that problem. I don't have that issue. That's not my problem. Girl, I was married. Don't worry about me. Worry about yourself. And the mistress is like, well, the potion's going to be there just in case you want it. Next, we see Dougal, and Dougal is just such a hoe. Ellen confronts him because, of course, she finds out, listen, either brother gets elected at this point, you being sold off to the highest bidder either way. And so she makes an appeal to Dougal, and he's basically like, look, if I'm put in, I might be able to swing it a different way. Again, we know what Dougal is on as well. Again, Ellen is just a pawn and a tool to advance them and get them to the next level. Now, what I never thought I would see is a rap battle around the campfire. I said, oh, we do ciphers. We do rap battles in age-old Scotland. Listen, it was something to see. And Dougal is not as slow as I thought he was. Again, at this point, we know Ellen is just a barter, right? Let me trade you. Let me trade you to get what I need. And now we have Stuart's support. So right now, Colum is feeling like I have the Grant support. They've accepted the betrothal for Ellen. And now Dougal's, I'm going to make this arrangement with Stuart's support. And either way, Ellen is sold. So she's got to think on her feet, what can I do? Because this is not the situation that I want. Mrs. Fitz is take me with you when you get married, because either way, I know you're getting married. We also have a conversation with Ned in the episode where basically if McKinney wins, there's a way when the new laird comes in that they get rid of everybody else. So now not only is it the risk of getting sold off to the highest bidder, is if McKinney becomes laird, we could be eliminated. It could be a much worse situation than what it currently is. And so again, we go back to the night of the School of the Moon, and father is having a conversation with Ellen because that's where he apparently dropped all of his wisdom, because he felt she was the only one worthy of said wisdom. And is that not to be afraid of the darkness. It shines a light on who you are. These are midnight raids where valor is tested and all of that stuff. So we got that. Now, after all is said and done, Red Jacob was just completely disappointed in the sons. And I would venture to say that these are the sons that you created. He, I think, incited enmity between the two of them, or competition. And I ultimately think that's what kind of ruined them in terms of becoming what we needed them to be. Now we're at the ceremony. All of that has happened. Ellen has been plot planning and scheming, honey. She done checked with Ned about a possibility. And we see Colum get on the stage and he's like, listen, I'm accepting being laird for basically all of the practical business, logistical matters. However, I want my brother Dougal to stand beside me and be a chief of war, right? Or a master chief, whatever they call it. Y'all know what I mean. Chieftain, wartime chieftain. And I was so surprised. I did not know what Dougal was going to do. When Dougal bent the knee, I was shocked. I was gobsmacked in the moment because what's happening right now. But he gets on bended knee and swears his fealty, and they're going to double team it, right? Colum is going to be the overarching laird, and Dougal is going to be laird in times of war, which again, I guess there's precedence for it. Ned gets him as the lawman, as the man to help the family, and announces that to everyone because that's the contention from McKinney, because McKinney's so hot. He don't know what to do with himself. No, who's going to follow you? Who's going to follow you? We ain't going to follow both of y'all. That's not the process. That's not how it's been. But baby, it is. And my thing is, like, we see you, Ellen. She's up there with her sisters. And Jacasta's like, was this you? Like, yeah. Yeah, with a little help from Ned, but you know how I do. So apparently Ellen is that girl. The lairdom stays within the family, and now both of the brothers seem to be content for now, but it's only a matter of time before they bump heads. Mark my words, we already know that. But listen, we go over here. Finally, we catch up with Henry, because the whole episode was really about who's going to be laird. But we catch up with Henry over here, and Ned then took him to the brothel. And I guess it wasn't what I thought, because, we still don't know. Ned seems to be involved in some debauchery of an unknown manner that we don't know. But speaking of Scotland, and if you've been on TikTok, Black Scottish people, I was very, very surprised to see the madam of the House of Ill Repute being a Black woman, maybe a Jamaican. I was trying to peep the accent, but I was absolutely here for that. And again, she's like, I will be on the lookout for this fair woman with pale eyes and blue eyes and all of the things that Henry, because ultimately his mission is to find Julia, and we know what it is. And so they're there, and she's like, I'll be looking and I'll get back to you when I find her, because it's known. I know all the hoes. I know all the women. I'm going to find her. After Henry leaves, we see Ned still there. And he's like, oh, you want your usual? Yes, I want my usual. Ned, what is your usual? You freak. What is your usual, Ned? You freak. I just know it's something. Next scene, we see Julia, and she's basically like, Henry, listen, I'm going to do everything in my power to save this baby. Listen, because this baby needs to be back with her sister Claire. And I'm going to do what I need to do until I can get back to you and this baby. Next thing I know, she's knocking on Lord Forehead's door, about to give him this cootie cat. Because if he thinks the baby is his, the baby can live, breathe, and have its being. Baby, she said, I'm going to sacrifice this cat. All about my child. An exceptional episode. Another great episode, you guys. I'm not disappointed. I've needed good TV. The Gilded Age is over. I needed something this is filling that spot. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Did you love it? Did you like it? What did you think of that opening scene, child? What in the world are we doing? But I'm here for it, you guys. Please be sure to comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And I will see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching.